2019 Moreton Bay side that did reach the round of 16 playing Gold Coast City. A young coach, only 28 years of age. Lara Lee leading the officiating team tonight. Was part of the officiating team yesterday as well, as Scott McDonald's Gold Coast Knights managed to beat Devonport Strikers. There is George Katsakis, I should say. In fact, a very, very experienced coach. 16 years in charge of Heidelberg's top side. And it's a Heidelberg side that are not in form at the moment. 10th in the league. They lost in the Doherty Cup final on Friday night against Oakley. They haven't won in over 2 months. An early slip that time from Moreton Bay, and some really exciting players plucked out of the wilderness. One on the bench tonight in Mitsuru, but one starting in one of those holding roles. Naoki Maeda, 2 Japanese players that were scouted in a park by the striker up top for Moreton Bay, Jeremy Stewart. They were just playing some footy in the park, kicking the ball about, and were recruited, Scott McDonald.
I'll tell you what, some find, isn't it, when you can find someone like that off, just off the public park. He's been excellent for them. He controls a lot of that midfield space, and expect to see a lot more tonight.
Just trying to evade. There was a long throw-in attempt. From play. For Heidelberg, Chris Marr does very well to evade the pressure. Part of that 2019 Brisbane Strikers side. They reached the semi-final of the Australia Cup. They beat the Wellington Phoenix, and a strike this time from range, and unbelievable hit from Kane Shepherd. And that's one of the goals of the tournament. The Englishman unleashes from a long way out.
That's an absolute thunderous strike, Campbell. And if there's one man you don't want to leave about 25 yards out on that left foot, it's Kane Shepherd. If you look at the highlights from this season only in Victoria, he has only scored about 4 goals. Every single one of them has been won from distance with that left foot of his. A sweet left foot. Absolutely no chance for Lugo down to his left there. And a great start from Heidelberg, hasn't it? Right from the off.
It's an absolute rocket from Kane Shepherd as we have a look back at the replay. Took a touch. Given way too much space there, Scott.
Yeah, far too much. I think Smith has to go and close the ball down, go and put pressure on him. But they let him go, and they think, well, from that distance, we'll let him have a strike. But my goodness, what a wonderful strike that was.
Now, Moreton Bay United well and truly under the pressure if they weren't already. They're down by a goal in just the 3rd minute. One of the worst possible starts you could think of.
Yeah, they've just started a bit shaky, haven't they? A bit nervy, it looked like, particularly the back three, not really controlling things when they had a chance to just get the ball down, relax on it, take a bit of the tempo away. They just gave it straight back to Heidelberg, and they're on the attack once more.
Another opportunity, a deep cross this time. Sean Ellis chasing it down. Can't do so. Said prior to coming on air, Scott, that Sean Ellis, you're aware of him, you know him, a good mate of yours?
Yes, he is indeed, as we'll see the strike again here. Just no one near him, but, you know, the surface takes it as well, and Lugo just planted, isn't he, in the center of the goal, but it's right in that corner, and it's a wonderful finish from Shepherd.
Marquez Walters, the danger man, brought down.
But yes, you were talking about Sean Ellis there, an absolute stalwart for Heidelberg, had a lot of success at this football club, been there a long time. He's got a wonderful left foot, probably one of the most experienced in that team, and yeah, he's a good Celtic man as well. So I've bumped into him, and on a few occasions had a few beers, Campbell, I have to say, celebrating a couple of the Hoops titles.
63 goals in 185 appearances. Sean Ellis for Heidelberg. And you're right, he is a stalwart and a talisman for them. Ma. Really missing some key players. Aiden Federhajic, not available tonight, was great in the Queensland NPL a few years back for Olympic. Played for South Melbourne as well. Spent some time overseas over the course, but he's out through suspension. Got a red card in that Doherty Cup final. On the bench as well today, Brendan White, former Brisbane Roar keeper, former Melbourne Victory and Gold Coast United man too. And it's lofted in towards Josh Pinn. Played at Eastern Suburbs here in Brisbane recently. Walters. Murakami does well, but not well enough. Marquez Walters does well to stay on the ball. Hounded that time by Owen Ashton. Almost gives away a foul. Edmiston. Can Moreton Bay strike back? Maeda. A metronome in this midfield for Moreton Bay. Maeda. Edmiston in a good patch of space for Walters. Just can't chase it down, and a lively start here at Walter Park. And sent long for Josh Pinn. All the way from Piers Clark, who spent time here in Queensland yet again. We've saying that a fair bit tonight. Spent some time with Southwest Queensland Thunder. Did Piers Clark. He's been in the A-League setup as well, most recently for Perth Glory.
It was a lot better there from Moreton Bay, wasn't it? Trying to get Walters into the game. Done ever so well to hold the ball up, have his link play with Edmiston, and just that final pass, just a little bit too heavy for him.
Long throw in. Not dealt with by Moreton Bay. A good turn by Ellis. Lofting it over the way for Matt Lugo, who does hang on to it, the former Logan Lightning man. Here's Damon Anderson. A great opportunity for the youngster on the national stage. Opportunity may have been given him through injury, but he'll take it no matter what. Here's Smith. Moreton Bay, the third Queensland side to play in the Australia Cup so far. Lions FC still to play tonight. Ma, a lovely wedged ball for Knight that time, but it is cleared. Of course, last night, the man to my right, Gold Coast Knights, advanced after beating Devonport City Strikers, the Tasmanian side. And a good night for your side, Scott.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, I think it's all about getting through to the next stages within this competition. Davenport, you know, gave us a difficult match. We always knew it was going to be a difficult match. You know, one that was going to be, as we see the cross from Stewart.
He's controlled by the Heidelberg defence and cleared.
Yeah, but they put up a good contest for us, and you know, we were just really pleased to obviously get that goal and control, you know, good patches of the game. You know, with a young side for us in terms of the changes we made, so we're very pleased with that, and really looking forward to the draw.
You made 5 changes in that one from your previous game, so big rotation. 1-0 win. Austin Ludwig rising for the header off a corner. Peninsula Power went down last week to the Wellington Phoenix in the 119th minute. It was absolute heartbreak for them. But it was all about what the cup is, and a big challenge that time from Heidelberg. Lesiotis, former A-League man. A smart challenge.
It was a smart challenge. It was a well-timed challenge. It had to be as well, because Stewart was just on the end of that, looking to put that ball across the 6-yard box, and he timed it ever so well, didn't he? But much better from Moreton Bay. This just controlling the game now, slowing it down, just getting into the game, getting their confidence, and you know, the more this goes, the better it is for them.
Anthony Lesiotis, big talent who came through Melbourne City, 26 A-League appearances, cross stints with the aforementioned Melbourne City, Western Sydney Wanderers and Melbourne Victory as well. Actually made his professional debut for City in the Australia Cup. And here is Pin. Wheeling him around there, but just going back to his defence. A lovely move that time on the far side by Nicolaides. Here's Pin. Marked by Knight. Nice to get the ball in aerially, but it is blocked. Marquez Walters physical and a foul. Given away by Heidelberg. And Adrian Zara, a bit of push and shove early. Here a bit of gamesmanship.
Yeah, I don't know what he's doing there. Just drop the ball and get on with it. He's just trying to slow the game down. I think Lara Lee has to have a word with him now. Obviously, Walters trying to get the play going quickly here, and he just grabs it, wants to play a bit of rugby with it. But again, Walters, what he does so well, gets his body in there, puts it on the line, and gets the foul for his team, gets them up the pitch.
Just having a word with Adrian Zara. There is Lara Lee. She was the 4th official last night. She didn't have to have a word with you, did she, Scott?
No, actually, great job from Lara. I was very calm last night, as everyone could hear.
Yeah, definitely didn't come through the effects mic once or twice, Scotty. Never?
Yeah, not at Lara, though. I was okay with Lara last night.
It was a great game, a great contest. Fierce as always. And a good crowd here at Walter Park. Moreton Bay controlling the possession despite being behind.
Yeah, Cameron Miller will be frustrated with that first couple of minutes of the game. You know, it's settled down now. Heidelberg come out fast and furious, press the ball really, really high, put them under pressure, and they just didn't deal with that pressure, did they? A couple of balls in their box, and then allowing Kane Shepherd to get all that space from about 25 yards out with a wonderful strike to now lead 1-0.
Last time Australia Cup football was played here. As Ellis laying it off well, Pin does so as well. Zara just keeping it in play. Ellis bringing it down. And a bit of a trouble in the box for Moreton Bay United, not quite clearing their lines effectively. The ball back in now, Lugo with a strong punch away. Zara unable to fully control it. Unfortunate opportunity there. A little bit of miscommunication, Scott, in the back line for Moreton Bay United. Just not clearing their lines quite as well.
Yeah, it seems to be a thing when it gets over Cameron Smith's head. Just the distances between him and Richardson, they're just a bit too big, as we see they're on the attack here again, Heidelberg. But they have to get out to the ball quicker, don't they, on those wide areas. They can't allow those balls to come in as easy as they are into their box at the moment. Having to deal with a lot within their own box at the moment, and sooner rather than later, something is going to drop to a yellow jersey in there.
The two centre-backs coming across each other there for Moreton Bay in Smith and Richardson. Richardson, who spent so much time out of football over the last few years with injury, a bad neck and head injury sidelining him for the better part of 2 years, but playing some regular football now. Pin lifting it towards the back post, but too much on it in the end. Josh Pin. And last time Australia Cup football was played here, the round of 16 of the Australia Cup against Gold Coast City. It's almost, and it is turned away. That time an unbelievable strike once more.
Wow.
Josh Pin this time. It was turned away, or turned over by Chris Marr. And Josh Pin said, thank you very much.
He certainly did. And I tell you what, as soon as it left his boot, you could hear me go already. It was already in the net before he already hit it. It was a wonderful strike right in that top corner. Absolutely no chance for Lugo. Really sloppy play from Moreton Bay, as we see Chris Marr turning over the ball here. I think he gives it to, yeah, he loses the ball here. And first time Pin, thank you very much. Another wonder strike and a sucker blow for Moreton Bay, who've had good periods of this game up to this point, getting back into it after that first one. Big job on their hands now.
Down by 2. And 2 absolute screamers, if you don't mind. And a lightning start for Heidelberg. Not controlling the play, but being gifted it at this moment. And you can't do that against opposition like this. He's cleared by Nicolaides. Bernardi once again just struggling to clear. Matt Lugo with a bit of time here. Edmiston playing in that number 10 role. Foul by Adrian Zara. They look to play it quick. Maeda. Here's Richardson. Moreton Bay playing with the 3 at the back. 2 holding midfielders in front of them. In Smith and Maeda. Edmiston over the top for Knight. Playing in the wide role. Does get his side, a throw in. Edmiston. It's cut out well that time by Owen Ashton, who joined Heidelberg from the West Bromwich Albion under-23s. Great pedigree is Owen Ashton. Marcus Walters just let it run. Richardson. One back well by Lesiotis.
Fast side, yep. Great ball.
And coaching, even from the commentary booth, is Scott McDonald. Shepherd just with the switch of play.
Yeah, it was a good piece of vision there from Shepherd. We've seen it here in the commentary area. It was on, just a little bit too greasy in the end. We've seen that on a couple of occasions, even with Chris Marr when he had the ball at his feet for the second goal there, just overruns it. You know, different type of ball tonight. I know people don't look into the balls too much, but not had a lot of training with these, and then the greasy surface, it does play its part to make sure that you've got to lock the ball in tight when you secure the ball.
It's an interesting one that people who maybe don't play or haven't played at the level that you have, Scott, what are the differences in the ball that you pick up? Is it the weight of it? Is it?
No, this ball's a lot faster. It zips. It zips. We've seen it last night. It was good for us in terms of the tempo and the ball speed that we want to play. But when it's greasy, if it's not on point, then it's going to go. You know, it's going to fly away, and you've got to secure it, just exactly like we've just seen there with Stewart there. You know, it gets away from you. You've got to secure that ball.
Are you provided with any of the balls in the week?
Yeah,
no,
the FA give you a good amount of balls to train with, you know, a week out or so before. You start around the 32, and obviously you keep them balls now, and you look to play for them for as long as you're in the competition, or, you know, if you want to use them in training afterwards, I guess.
Sure, if you make a good run, some of the boys will be looking to nick them. They might go missing one by one.
I'll tell you, if anything off last night's go off, we'll have to go and find them over the fence.
ended up in a creek of some description, I'm sure.
Yeah, the boys got told need a bit more quality in that final third.
We can't afford to buy another 10 balls. Going all into your wages, boys. Murakami to take the throw in. And here's a lovely Mitre ball.
We might need a new crossbar as well after the first. Oh, here we go.
Indeed is. Walters storming front. He's off to the races, and a brilliant challenge to cut things off. Theodoropoulos. Unbelievable defence. And Heidelberg, what could have been a certain goal for Marquez Walters, as he gives away the foul that time. Unbelievable tracking back.
Well, we talked about the slick surface, didn't we? It was misread by Theodoropoulos, and then he gets back that last-ditch challenge. If you're Walters, your eyes are lighting up. I'm 1-for-1 with the keeper. All I need to do is slot this ball in there. But he just last-ditch from behind. Wonderful, perfect challenge to get the block out there.
That's exactly what George Katsakis ordered, I'm sure. Ellis just trying to prevent a goal kick, get his side. Will make it a throw-in, keep the ball in the areas they want to. Make a big impact when you're not controlling the possession like they have in today's game. Here's Knight. Jeremy Stewart, a high school teacher, is Jeremy Stewart. The foul is waved on. Marquez Walters tries to go past. It won't be a foul. Was looking for the contact, Marquez Walters, after he stayed on his feet from the initial foul. Declan Smith, it's a brilliant ball. Ellis trying to chase it down. Moreton Bay do just enough. Matty Richardson. Edmiston dispossessed. Here's Zara. Now, the strike from Shepherd, drifting wide. Josh Pinn with another opportunity. And it is blocked by Maeda. And Kane Shepherd with the initial opportunity.
Yeah, just another little cagey moment there from Moreton Bay. A little bit of miscommunication between Smith and the goalkeeper, at least. So a little bit more panic from Richardson, who loses the ball there. And Maeda had to get that block in, because for all money, that shot from Pinn looked like it was on its way once more.
Looking dangerous in these early stages is Josh Pinn. No stranger to the competition as well. As the throw-in is long towards Shepherd that time, and it's headed wide. Josh Pinn played in the round of 32 with Cairns FC in 2021 against Edgeworth Eagles. In fact, it was 2017. That one. Daniel McBreen playing for Edgeworth Eagles in that game. Edgeworth won 3-0 up in North Queensland. And the corner this time from Heidelberg towards the back post, palmed away by Matt Lugo. Did just enough to get it away. Jeremy Stewart giving away possession in a bad area. Zara gets a touch off Chris Marr.
You just see there when the corner comes in, they clear it. Walters up there on his own, but Heidelberg really lock it down. They don't just leave 2v1 at the back. They've got a third man there, and it locks it down, and there's no way out for Moreton Bay to actually get it to Walters, and they're having to go in that little short one into Stewart. They end up losing it again, and more pressure now from Heidelberg.
Sean Ellis standing over the corner for Heidelberg. Low delivery towards the front post. Edmiston gets a touch on it. First time from Lesiotis. That post ball headed away, and the offside flag does go up against Heidelberg.
If you're a Moreton Bay defender tonight, you're certainly going to earn your money, aren't you? What are we in? We're 23 minutes in it already, and you can count double figures, maybe even almost 20 opportunities with crosses already in that box. They need to get out to that ball a lot quicker and try and stop these crosses from coming in.
The organisation perhaps not there for Moreton Bay at the moment. Giving away the ball in unopportune areas, and it's cost them 2-0 down in just 24 minutes. In fact, they were down by 2 within 15. Campbell Johnson here in commentary alongside Scott McDonald, former Socceroo Celtic legend. Jeremy Stewart won the foul. That time for Moreton Bay.
It's a good area for Moreton Bay, somewhere where they've been really strong throughout this season. Obviously Smith going up, Richardson, Knight, all people that can get on the end of things.
We have a look back at the foul.
We'll probably see Walters go around the back here as well.
Chris Maher is standing over it. Walters making the run, but it's deep. And headed goal bound by Stewart. The near post. Will be a restart for Heidelberg. Matty Richardson getting low there.
Well, again, like we said, they've been a threat all season with these free kicks from those sorts of areas. Big aerial presence, something they must have worked on as well. Walters going around the front, a couple of them moving to get that space around the back there for Stewart. It's a good header back in, just can't keep on side. You see Smith getting the block. I think it's Anderson, is it, down on the ground there, trying to throw his head to it, but was found offside.
Piers Clark taking the goal kick, or the offside for Heidelberg. Jeremy Stewart, a good ball back in for Marquez Walters. Physical there from Piers Clark. Ellis tried to get a touch on it, pinned potentially in behind. Lugo fumbled. I mean, he did manage to collect it in the end, did enough. Front two with Marquez Walters and Jeremy Stewart up front. Jeremy Stewart, a bit more of a target man, tight forward. Stewart, good hold-up play. Enough on it from Will Edmiston. Moreton Bay Jr. Lesiotis. Heidelberg starting to work their way into this game from a possession point of view, starting to control things a bit more.
Yeah, controlling it without, you know, minimal risk in terms of what they leave behind the ball as well when they go and attack. They've always got two extra bodies up against Walters, three against one almost every single time. You know, it's going to have to be something that Moreton Bay look at and trying to actually get that extra body a little bit higher up on those transitional moments to try and cause a bit more of a threat to this Heidelberg team to get back in the game rather.
And these long throw-ins, a real weapon for Heidelberg. An extra set piece almost, and a foul potentially there, not given by Lara Lee, and it is eventually blown up. Marquez Walters getting dragged back a little bit, and Jamal Ali have a talking to.
I tell you what, it's wonderful play again from Walters, isn't it? He has absolutely no right to win that first one. Just pure brute strength and quality with his first touch to get away from not one but two Heidelberg defenders, and then they go and slow it down once more.
Long ball for Moreton Bay. Hoofed away that time by Heidelberg. Marquez Walters, no stranger to Victoria either. Played with Preston Lions. Previously played for South United and Brisbane City here in Queensland. Played under John Cosmina at Brisbane City. Maeda. Bernardi open on the far side. Maher's able to find him. This is better play from Moreton Bay. The Trivella. Should say Rabone up from Sam Knight on the far side. Not sure at 2-0 down if it's the time really to be getting out the party tricks for Sam Knight. Trying to invent something, trying to make a change, and both captains just getting a talk to from Lara Lee. I think I can kind of hear myself in the background. Here's Zara. Moreton Bay wanting that one there. Quite upset with the decision is Chris Marr. He's always vocal about the decisions, is Chris Marr. A good bit of play from Heidelberg. Nicolaides just getting a touch on its way through, and we'll get the throw in from it. George Katsakis having some words with Alireza Vigani, the fourth official today.
All I can say is absolutely good luck with him. He ain't coming to you. He don't want to talk to you.
From the coach's mouth.
He actually got a sentence out of him, so he done well.
Jamal Ali able to exit the defence for Heidelberg. A good bit of movement from the fullback Murakami. Murakami with the strike low and not quite enough on it. Maeda.
You could clearly hear there from Katsakis on the touchline there. He wants that ball in early, forward. Wants to test that back three of Moreton Bay as quickly as he can in those transitional moments. As we've seen, it's brought good success up to this point as well, sort of leaving Shepherd in that one-for-one role with Smith causing him problems.
Matty Richardson, a dangerous pass back. Matt Lugo was able to keep it from going in, but that pressure on that back three. It is a little bit of a smaller pitch here at Moreton Bay, here at Walter Park. Marcus Walters, Heidelberg very physical with him at the moment. You mentioned that prior to us coming on air, Scott, that it is a bit of a smaller pitch and how that influences how they play and shape up.
Yeah, absolutely. It's tight. It's probably helping Heidelberg at the moment in terms of Moreton Bay are the ones looking to try and play through the lines a little bit more. Heidelberg being a little bit more direct. Trying to get that ball in the Walters has been few and far between for what they like, but when he's got it, he's looked lively, and they get another opportunity now off his free kick to put it in the box where they're a big threat.
Chris Marr standing over it for Moreton Bay towards the back post, and just too much on it on that occasion. The former Brisbane Strikers man. And it's great to see Moreton Bay back in the round of 32. Over the last few years here in Queensland, we've seen, the usual candidates, your Gold Coast Knights, Peninsula Power, Olympic FC, Lions FC, all kind of in there. But to have another side in the mix as well is great for the Queensland competition. Yeah,
look, they've had a great season. Cameron Miller's done a wonderful job, in the top four right now, sitting third in the league. They've played some excellent football. We've got some young talent. They've got a great youth product here as well in terms of the youth product that they produce. Always a strong outfit in that SAP, MPL outfits. And it's good to see, like you said, so many people on that hill behind the goal as well, and all the juniors here, just like there was last night as well for us. It's nice for these kids to come out and be a part of our football club and connect with, the senior players.
Walters was headed down by the Heidelberg defender on that far side. And they do get the free kick out of it. They go long. Sam Knight just hoofing it away. Aerial did Theodoropoulos. And Jeremy Stewart, goal bound, manages to stave off Jamal Ali only for a moment, as they managed to clear their lines, but not quite effectively. Does go out for a throw-in. Marcus Walters getting plenty of attention in these early stages. 33 minutes gone. Here's Smith with the switch of play. Sam Knight does well. Stewart. Strikers just swapping what side they're operating in. Jeremy Stewart unable to find a teammate there and not taking any chances with Anthony Lesiotis.
It's been a better 5 minutes for Moreton Bay, hasn't it? They've just come back into the game, just plugging Heidelberg in their own half here, getting a lot of confidence, moving the ball through. Yes, that's disappointing. The ball goes out play, but look to lock them in here and try and keep the pressure on.
Theodoropoulos on that far side for Heidelberg. Maeda trying to do some nice stuff up. Moreton Bay trying to play some good football. Just getting shut down, but better signs from them at the moment.
Yeah, absolutely. It'll give them a bit of confidence this as well to move the ball through. Heidelberg now just sitting in a little bit more. I think we'll see this more as the game goes along, protecting what they've got a little bit. They're comfortable, aren't they? You know, 2-0 up away from home. They'll look to slow the game down as much as they possibly can. We've seen they'll give away fouls and try and stop the game and frustrate Moreton Bay. Moreton Bay just need to concentrate, keep playing their football and try and get that next goal and put some pressure on them.
Tough ball to deal with for Declan Smith. Managed to do just enough and come away. Edmiston. Here's Anderson. Walters. Marked by Ali. Marquez Walters. Just that touch letting him down. Just getting his feet mixed up a little bit.
You can see he's highly frustrated with that. Wonderful opportunity for him there in a 1v1 with Ali. Just almost getting into that box where he's always dangerous. But good signs for Moreton Bay. Things starting to open up a little bit. Maybe Heidelberg tiring a little bit just as this first half goes along, and maybe a little bit more openings as the game goes on here for them.
It's been a turbulent year for the #1 position for Heidelberg. They did have Brendan White, who is on the bench today, but suffered a injury on the eve of the season, and since then have been rotating their options through. Picked up Pierce Clark, who has taken that #1 jersey with a plum. And a foul given against Adrian Zara. He drew it, and it goes the way of Heidelberg.
They've got a couple down as well. Sean Ellis is down also. Must have been the follow through just as he comes through. Yep, there we see that. Just the second, is it first challenger from Mar, where the foul's been given?
Looks like that Sean Ellis one, which he is still down for, as you see him in frame there, being helped out by Owen Ashton and Anthony Theodoropoulos. Good to see him back up on his feet. Sean Ellis, Scottish forward. Joined Heidelberg in 2016. And his off-season goes back to Scotland. Plays for his junior club, Fort William. As the ball whipped in for Heidelberg, cleared by Moreton Bay. And Anderson chasing down to shut the play. And Shepherd just slowing things down for Heidelberg. Zara shouts of a handball on Adrian Zara. It's not given by Lara Lee. Looked to control it with his chest, but maybe just catching the arm. Not spotted though. Declan Smith clearing. Walters holds it up well and turns well too. Tries to go outside of the boot, but only finds the back of his teammate in Chris Marr. A good opportunity now. Josh Pinn in behind. Can he make it 3? And it is cleared off the line by Nick Bernardi. It was a good bit of play. And Heidelberg wanting a penalty, perhaps.
Yeah, you know, first look at that, you're thinking it could be a penalty. Obviously gets to it first, so around the other side of Cameron Smith. Wonderful ball from Shepherd. Gets that side. Look, if he chooses to go down, it probably is a penalty, but he gets there first, tries to take it past Lugo, and Bernardi's there to clear it off the line.
Good tracking back by Nick Bernardi. And Declan Smith just caught a little bit out there. Not paid to punish on that one. Josh Pinn almost with his second of the game. Damon Anderson losing possession. And no foul given. Jeremy Stewart taking out Adrian Zara. And the Jets look to go the other way. Marquez Walters. Edmiston just outstretched a little bit, and a chance for Heidelberg to counter Sean Ellis. Offside though.
Another threat there from Heidelberg in the transitional moments. Something that Moreton Bay just have to be aware of. You know, they're still in this game. And yes, it is 2-0. You have to go and get the, go and attack the game, but you want to stay in the game. You don't want to kill the game off this early within the football match as well.
Bit of tense nature creeping into this one. A bit of tempers flaring at times. This is good play. Handball shout. As it was turned around the corner by Kane Shepherd. Maeda, not a judge to have got his hand to it.
When he puts his hand up and more or less says no, I'm thinking it is handball. You can always tell from the reaction of the player whether or not they think it is handball themselves. But we'll call that 1-1, shall we? Because Zara's one was handball earlier.
Just keeping it even. Chris Marr. Edmiston in a good patch of space. Trying to find David Anderson. Making that run in behind. Just can't do so. A little bit disjointed at the moment. Moreton Bay. Heidelberg dealing with the pressure well. Fairly cold night here at Walter Park as well. Gets weirdly cold for Queensland.
Yeah, you can see that on the football pitch as well. It's very dewy out there, very slick. And the frustration for me in terms of Queensland players, not a lot of them wear medals, Campbell. There's another bit for your research. Not a lot of them actually possess medals. It's old-fashioned now, I get told. Everyone wears just the old molds now, not even the mixers. But on a night like this, you start slipping, your gaffer's going to start screaming at you.
Note taken as the ball towards the back post. Sean Ellis gets a piece of it, and Matt Lugo stands tall. And another great opportunity for Heidelberg. Goes a-begging. And Moreton Bay right back under pressure. Murakami. Lesionis, lovely bit of play. Murakami delivering towards the near post once more. And Matt Lugo able to handle it. As we have another look back at the opportunity. It was a beautiful ball right to the back post. And just not deadly enough. Moreton Bay caught up a little bit there. Jeremy Stewart just in the back of his legs. And it's end to end at the moment. Sean Ellis just trying to track that one down. And I might have a sore neck by the end of this game. Scotty McDonald just going either way, back and forth.
That's been a good game, hasn't it?
Didn't know we were watching tennis, though.
Been full of action, hasn't it? Both ends. We've had opportunities at both ends. Probably not to the final product that Moreton Bay want. A couple of last-ditch challenges from Heidelberg. They've defended exceptionally well to this point. Structure's been good.
Jeremy Stewart unable to keep it in play.
Like you said, Campbell, it's ebbed and flowed, hasn't it? Heidelberg have had really, really good moments, particularly early on in this game. A stinger, at the beginning from Kane Shepherd. Caught them by surprise, Moreton Bay. Poor start. And then obviously that second goal from Pin. What a wonderful strike that was. Absolutely right in that top left-hand corner. Nothing Lugo could do about it.
I'm sure both of those goals will certainly go in the highlights reel for both of those players. Josh Pin and Kane Shepherd, who's on the ball now. Trying to find Sean Ellis. He wants to get a piece of the actions. Got close on a few occasions. Damon Anderson was part of the under-23 side that won the MPL last year. It's a good bit of play there from Moreton Bay, but just lacking that final ball, that final touch. Pin going down, won back well by Moreton Bay. Space for Knight on the far side. Is this an opportunity for Moreton Bay? Marquez Walters going down. No penalty given. Much to the uproar of the home support. Going down in the box. No foul given.
It's a wonderful run again from Walters. He gets his body there just before the defender does. And I think he does go down a little bit too easy for my liking. The feet are tangled, but is he tangling the feet with the defender? That could be the question you have to pose, I guess. And Lara Lee's closer than us. Probably from what we see, it's probably the right decision.
Here's Knight trying to lay it off for Jeremy Stewart. And Moreton Bay really working their way into this game well. It's a good move by Theodoropoulos. Owen Ashton dispossessed. Here's Maeda. And a big coming together between two players, neither coming off worse for wear. Dion Nicolaitis and Sam Knight, and you heard from both of us there, Scotty McDonald, when two players go in like that, can go badly.
Well, it's something we don't see a lot of these days, Campbell, so it's actually quite refreshing to see. Two boys going in 50-50, both getting back up again, dusting themselves off, and away we go again.
Reminds you of your days in Scotland.
Hey, I didn't have any injuries, so if it wasn't a 60-40, I'm not sure I was going in there. I'd probably jump it. Or I'd get there first because I was too quick, Campbell, you see.
I see. You had the metal studs in. You weren't getting tripped up as well.
Yep, the old copers with the kit man would actually drill the holes and get the studs in them.
There you go. Here's Richardson. Two minutes added on here at Walter Park. Can Moreton Bay halve the deficit before the break? It's a tall order. It'll be a Stern talking to at half-time, I'm sure. Lots to do. And Scott McDonald, would the focus mainly be on keeping that back line set, organised, communicating between each other?
Yeah, look, I think at times they need to throw an extra body ahead of the game. I think Stewart's dropping very, very deep, obviously working exceptionally hard for his team, trying to keep them in the game, but they need that extra body to go and support Walters high up when he gets the ball, that he's got people more around him.
Well, here we go. Moreton Bay in for Walters if it'll hold up, and he was offside. According to the referee on the far side, David Walsh.
But I think that Cameron Miller will be talking about it and just saying, look, just keep probing, keep doing what we're doing. Let's see if we can get those opportunities. Let's see if we can get in that final third and get a bit of quality, and see if we can get Walters or Stewart on the end of something. I think if you're Heidelberg at the moment, Kasakis, you're just saying, just give me a little bit more, keep our structure, keep our discipline, slow the game down, and we'll get our opportunities off the transitions.
Declan Smith rising above on that occasion. Adrian Zara doing plenty of work in the midfield for Heidelberg. Here's Zara. Gets the ball once more. Big challenge going in from Maeda, and a great opportunity this time to make it three. The follow-up. Matty Lugo comes up trumps. They do well to deal with it. Could have been three. And that is half-time here at Walter Park. A fantastic first half here in Queensland, as Heidelberg, the Victorians, travelling to Queensland. Two early goals and absolute screamers through Kane Shepherd and Josh Pinn. They enter the half-time break. It is Moreton Bay 0, Heidelberg 2. And well, the half-time highlights, they don't get much better than this, Scott.
Yeah, well, we see this one early on here from Kane Shepherd. They just step off them. Cameron Smith doesn't want to engage when it comes out. In fact, I don't think this is the goal to say it is. Yep, it is the goal. Neither Bernardi or Smith get to him. And you have to say, it's an absolute wonderful strike from that distance. Absolutely no chance from Lugo. And Chrissy Marr gets the ball here from the goalkeeper from build-up, overruns the play. First time, unexpected, you'd have to say. Pin, thank you very much. Absolute quality in that top right-hand corner. And you can see Lugo lying there going, what am I meant to do with that? Wonderful strike.
No answers. And despite Heidelberg being up by 2 goals, the most important stat, that is, but they're not quite controlling the play, as we can see there by the possession, Scott.
No, they're not. Moreton Bay have had a lot of possession, particularly in their own half, in that mid-third as well. They're just lacking that final product, getting enough bodies higher up the pitch to support Walters. He's more or less on his own, hustling and bustling. Like I said, just at the end of the half there, they need to get Stewart higher up, supporting him, get the ball off him, and get runners like Edmonston trying to get up the pitch. They're going to have to go for it at some point. It'll be really interesting to see if there's any changes. I've seen the Moreton Bay staff there sitting there for an extra couple of minutes, discussing, looking at their notepads. To me, it looks like they're going to make changes, and will it, you know, bring a change of shape as well, which possibly is needed.
Well, they may be up by 2, but they've only had an expected goals of 0.44, so that puts that to rubbish, and I'm sure you're happy about that. Scott McDonald, a massive second stanza coming at Walter Park. Stick with us. Welcome back to Walter Park as Heidelberg currently lead the hosts Moreton Bay United by 2 goals. 2 absolute wonder strikes courtesy of Kane Shepherd and Josh Pinn, the Queenslander himself. A fantastic bit of play in those opening exchanges, and that really is the difference so far. Campbell Johnson joined by former Socceroo Scott McDonald. A confident half for Heidelberg and plenty of work to do for Moreton Bay.
Yeah, absolutely. And we talked about just before the break there, or at the break, that, you know, Moreton Bay were taking some time out, the coaches there, to look at if they're going to make changes. They are going to make changes. 2 changes are coming on. Fagan and Scott are coming on and replacing number 8. Number 8? Is there a number 8? I didn't
Donnelly
even see.
Fagan
coming on. Yeah, and 15's coming off. So I think Knight's coming off. Look, I kind of think we might see a change in the shape as well here.
Chris Marr making way. And Donnelly Fagan coming in. And in fact, Chris Marr still on the pitch.
Stewart off.
Jeremy Stewart off. Joe Scott up front. The Toowoomba product. And Will Edmiston coming off, the young midfielder. Had a good half, but perhaps just a change of shape, some fresh legs.
Yeah, what they'll do now is they'll have 1-6 and sort of 2-8s trying to bomb on a little bit higher now. They've done this previously within the season where they'll go to 1-6 and try and get 2 bodies further forward rather than having the 2 6s there. That's what they're looking to do, and then have fresh legs. And Scott, we did talk about Stewart probably being a little bit too far away from Walters, and they've probably seen that and gone, we have to change that. We have to try and get someone a little bit closer to Walters and try and get up there as quickly as possible on those transitional moments for them.
We are back underway here at Walter Park in the Australia Cup round of 32. Heidelberg, a great track record in this competition at this stage. They've made the round of 16 on 3 occasions. 3 out of 4 times they've won. And it looks like at the moment they might be advancing for the 4th time. An incredible achievement. There's still a whole nother half to play here at Walter Park. But so much to do for the home side. Ellis is looking for Josh Pinn, a former Far North Queensland Heat player. Now down in Victoria. And well, his first half goal was a piece of beauty. Murakami with the throw in for Heidelberg. In the tail of the first half, at least from Moreton Bay's perspective, the centre halves, of which there are 3, the communication between them perhaps just not good enough in that first half, Scott.
No, look, at times you probably say that they're a little bit too deep, allowing, you know, Heidelberg to get a little bit further up the pitch. Obviously, the threat of Kane Shepherd, his physicality, his speed, but letting balls bounce just in front of them a little bit more. I think, you know, Smith needs to come and attack it a little bit more, keep the line a little bit higher, keep those gaps a little bit closer, and get a little bit closer up to Walters as well if they do that.
Murakami with the throw in once more. Handball shout. Again, we've seen a few of those in this game so far. None given as of yet. Lovely bit of play from Ellis. Ali, the centre back, making a run forward. And Declan Smith just able to intercept, but giving it away. Here's Ellis. Murakami able to find him again in the corner. He's blocked by Maeda. Donnelly Fagan, a lovely ball over the top for Marquez Walters. That first touch let him down, and it's been cleared by Theodoropoulos.
Yeah, wonderful little ball over the top there from Fagan, who's just come on, isn't it? Nice little touch, and again the movement of Walters, short to go long. Just lets himself down with that first touch, though, on this greasy surface. It got away from him again. But it looks like Moreton Bay are going to have a long throw of their own here into the box. Big boys are coming up.
The tall timber for Heidelberg. They get away out of defence. No changes made at the half-time break for George Katsakis. Smith. Not clearing it quite well enough. Leositis. Pin. Holding the ball up well. Zara, the former A-League player. Chested down well by Ellis, but the youngster, Damon Anderson, does enough to come away with it. Marquez Walters. All traffic really going through him in these early stages. Really physical battle there between himself and Jamal Ali, and it's not over yet. They're still going. Lara Lee letting play right. And Joe Scott comes away with it. Heidelberg able to regain possession. Cameron Miller, the Moreton Bay coach, with plenty of instructions for his side. Shepherd. Great challenge by Declan Smith. Brave, but exactly what his side needed.
It's a wonderful time challenge, isn't it? I think he's going to have to make a few more of them if Moreton Bay are to throw a few more bodies ahead in those 1-for-1 situations.
It's a good move that time by Nicolaitis. Just can't advance. Joe Scott, the former Southwest Queensland Thunder player. Had a good impact off the bench so far. Knight, a bit more of a mobile option. Here's Joseph Scott. He's been at Moreton Bay for the past few years. Knight down the line for Moreton Bay in that white strip, despite being the home side. Heidelberg wearing their home kit today. Nice move by Sean Ellis. Shepherd does well to evade the three Moreton Bay shirts. Owen Ashton. Now the strike this time from Kane Shepherd, and he scored from outside the box in the first half, and it takes a touch on its way through as it sailed over the target.
Yeah, good little play there from Ellis there, you know, connecting the game. Opens up. They get it in this little area here, and Shepherd onto the end of the shot. Gets a deflection. Ellis now with the corner. Opportunity to put it in with some quality, as he usually does.
Had a great first half, did Sean Ellis. Lifted towards the back post, Matt Lugo. A confident claim from him. No real options in front of Donnelly Fagan. Let's find Sam Knight out wide. Doing very well. Just can't keep it in play. The pressure from Owen Ashton, too much. Slightly more advanced role for Sam Knight than he's perhaps used to. We're in a wider role. Jordan Farina just passing over the ball. The son of Frank Farina, a great record in the NPL Queensland. Well won by Bernardi. Ma. And plenty of pressure. Heidelberg just closing down those passing lanes well. Not leaving them many options. Caused a turnover in the first half, leading to this man, Josh Pinn's goal. And he's storming away now, Josh Pinn. Cuts inside. To a great ball at the back post for Sean Ellis, who knocks it in. Fantastic work by Josh Pinn. And Heidelberg make it 3 through their Scotsman, Sean Ellis.
You'd have to say game over now, wouldn't you? 3-0 up, but again, giving the ball away cheaply, Moreton Bay in that halfway point. And you see Pinn driving all the way with Bernardi, cuts back on his right foot. An absolute delicious cross at the back post. But one of the smallest guys in the game, you'd have to say. But doesn't he take it well, Sean Ellis, in his stride just into that far corner, heading it down. No chance once again for Lugo. And it's ending in a comfortable victory here at the moment for Heidelberg in what is still 35 minutes to go within the game.
His 64th for Heidelberg. Sean Ellis, and a change made after that goal for Moreton Bay. Jordan Farina coming on, who spent last season at Brisbane Strikers, where his dad took them to the NSL title in the 90s. A storied club. And now Jordan Farina in his second stint with Moreton Bay. An attacking substitution once more. And a change in shape perhaps as well for the home side. Here's Richardson. Maeda. More help for Marquez Walters now, but he is dispossessed. Jamal Ali steaming out of defence. The centre back still going. Josh Pinn. A goal and assist in this game so far. That time blocked by Damon Anderson, and what a day the Queenslander Josh Pinn is having.
He's having a great evening, isn't he? Some real quality with that right foot he possesses. We've seen it on a couple of occasions tonight. First one being that wonderful strike from distance in the first half, beating Lugo from about 25 yards. And then there, just down that left-hand side, cutting back onto the right foot and dinking a wonderful ball to the back stick for Ellis to finish it off and make it 3-0.
Showed his long throw in that first half as well, but we're yet to see it here in the second. A quick one that time by Heidelberg as they win themselves a corner. Moreton Bay United 0, Heidelberg 3, and they'll be pretty comfortable at this stage, the visitors. Arrived in Queensland yesterday. And Heidelberg doing what they do in the cup, and that is win. Sean Ellis, one of the goal scorers for tonight, taking the corner towards the near post. Can they make it 3? Almost. But it is miraculously cleared by Heidelberg. Lesiotis clearing their lines. Turned over by Mark. Maeda under pressure. And the foul. Owen Ashton seeing yellow for it. Crunching down on Maeda.
A little bit late there. Just with the knee, I think, in the back of Maeda. We go back to that corner, though. It was a wicked cross, wasn't it? We're seeing the replay here. Just Ashton catching him a little bit late. Yep. Just into the backside of Maeda there. It's a yellow card for his causes.
Was a fantastic corner delivery. Marquez Walters getting a little bit tied up there. Matt Lugo a long way from home. Not taking any chances. Josh Pinn was bearing down on him. He's still off his line. Here's Matt Lugo. He does retreat though. Kane Shepherd. Great ball for Pinn. And Declan Smith getting a touch to it and drawing the foul too. So we have another look back at the corner. Scott McDonald, brilliant delivery.
Yeah, wonderful shape on that, you know, in that near post area. I don't think Lugo knew too much about it, hitting him through the bodies there. Certainly on its way in, though, if it didn't get any contact.
It was nice from Donnelly Fagan, but he gave away possession. Chris Mark, physical. He does give away the foul, much to his disbelief. Lara Lee pulling him up. Josh Pinn drawing it.
Yeah, I don't think he can have too many complaints, even though Chrissy will complain. There's no question.
He's always going to petition his case, I'm sure. The high school teacher, Chris Marr. If we have another look back. Comes in, says he got the ball, I think. Doesn't matter.
No, he might have a case, but...
Ashton. Good set piece, but too much on it. He's going for goal by the looks of things. A little bit too far out, perhaps.
Yeah, I think he was looking to just shape it in that area, though. not so much actually, directly shoot on goal, but put it in that area where people get across the goal and try and put the keeper off. But just hit it a little bit too high and it goes over the bar.
Murakami. Owen Ashton tried to rise above, but couldn't quite do so. Looks like Chris Marr sitting a little bit deeper than he did in the first half. He's playing in that number 6 role. And a foul drawn by Nicolaides. And frustration starting to set in for Moreton Bay United, understandably. Chris Marr winning the header. Bernardi losing out that time. Pin. Just holding up play. Lesiotis. Marr. Able to clear. Farina. Was trying to find Marquez Walters, but it was cut out well by Lesiotis. Chris Marr getting plenty of work done in that back line now. It's cut out well by Lesiotis, and a big challenge from Maeda, but doesn't make contact. Sean Ellis. Doing really well. Sean Ellis. Declan Smith does better though. Farina. Moreton Bay starting to try and play some football at this point. Still plenty for them to do, and it will be a change for Heidelberg. Owen Ashton making way and coming on. Dominic Falla. It was a good shift by Owen Ashton, and it will be just the one change for them. And Dominic Falla, experienced head, over 60 appearances for Heidelberg.
Smart substitution. The only man who's got booking tonight. I think that plays its part. He has had a good game himself, but I think very, very smart from Heidelberg, taking him off, making sure that they secure this game with 11 men on the football pitch.
And what a win it would be. It's looking very likely at the moment. Here's Joe Scott. Feeding it through. Marquez Walters one-on-one. And just doesn't quite go the right way for him. And that's heartbreak for Marquez Walters, who's had an industrious night.
Well, they just don't come better than that, Campbell. And for the season that he's had, he'll be hugely disappointed he misses this one. It's a wonderful run from Scott, finds a through pass, and you can just see Walters just trying to play with the outside of his foot, just caress it past the keeper Clark, but mistimes it, overhits it, and misses pretty badly, you have to say, in the end. Completely missing the target. Huge chance gone begging for Moreton Bay to get back into this game.
It's good work from the substitute, Joe Scott, finding him. A little bit of a defensive mishap from Jamal Ali, but another opportunity this time. Jordan Farina heading it on. Jamal Ali failing to clear his lines. Donnelly Fagan, former South United man. Bernardi will take the throw in. Despite not scoring there, I'm sure Moreton Bay will take a rise from that. A bit of a tonic for them to see they can get in that one-on-one position. Looks like it'll be a long throw in from Joe Scott. Throwing towards the near post, looped up. Now the strike from Damon Anderson. Walters dispossessed by Zara. Josh Pinn, Matt Lugo a long way from home, does go down. Josh Pinn, the track wearing a little thin at this stage, and he's still down. Here's Josh Pinn. Tripping over him was Damon Anderson. And they'll just play it out for Josh Pinn on that far side. Looks in a fair bit of pain. And he will get some attention Fell down a little bit awkwardly, Scott.
Yeah, he just slipped a little bit there. He's holding his calf. He's worked ever so tirelessly tonight, put in a really good shift for his team. You have to say Heidelberg at times have pressed very, very well collectively and put Moreton Bay under, certain amounts of pressure that have got them reward.
Just fell over a little bit awkwardly there. Didn't look to be anything too serious. No joint kind of issues there by the looks of things, at least.
It looks like it's cramped to me more than anything, and I think the slip's just because it's greasy out there. And I'm telling you about those medals again, Campbell, as old-fashioned as I sound.
Look, Josh Pinn, I don't think is the old-fashioned metal stud type, Scotty. I hate to break it to you.
No.
But it does look as if it's just that cramping right calf for Josh Pinn. Whether that's anything that'll come off for is yet to be seen. He's been fantastic tonight. Maybe just time to crack out the pickle juice. It looks like it will be the end of his day, in fact. And Heidelberg making a change. Bilal Habib coming on. And Josh Pinn, Queenslanders' day comes to an end. And here's number 21, Bilal Habib, coming on for Heidelberg. A few less numbers on the bench for Heidelberg today, but Habib did join the club from Pascoe Vale in Victoria. And a win today for Heidelberg will be their first in a while. They haven't won in the league since the 9th of June. Big challenge from Jordi Farina. Got the ball there, but went studs up. And the foul is given against him. Got a pretty clean piece of it. And Adrian Zara not happy with the challenge either.
I'd like to see that again. I think reputation precedes himself here more than anything with Lara. So with Lara, yeah, but again, call me old-fashioned, eh? I don't think there's much around that ball.
I don't think it is. Yeah, not too sure about it, but nevertheless, Theodoropoulos. Name almost doesn't fit on the back. Had to shrink down the font size. Habib, the substitute.
Yeah, Jordan's not one to shirk out of a challenge by no means, as we've seen, in previous years gone by in Football Queensland. Certainly a brave player, one that's always a goal threat and will put his body on the line for his team. He did in that case, but deemed to be a foul on this occasion.
He's played in this round of 32 plenty of times, namely with Lions FC over the past few years. One of the powerhouses here in Queensland. Bit of an off year for them, though. It's been a bit of a strange year in the Queensland NPL. Perennial grand finalists, Olympic FC, getting relegated. Moreton Bay, who've had a couple of middling years, now sitting third on the table. It was a great job by Cameron Miller at the helm. They were 9th placed in the season prior to him taking over, and now all the way up into third.
Yeah, like you said, Campbell, it's been a fantastic season for them. They'll be disappointed so far tonight, though. They really would have been confident going into this, the form that they've been in within the league itself as well. Coming through a hard game against Gold Coast United in the previous round as well to get here.
Smart quick throw in from Jordi Farina. Marquez Walters just unable to control it. He'll chase it down, though. Lesiotis clearing. They've had a really tough run, have Moreton Bay, to get to this stage. Maeda striking from Reg. Maeda just going wide. And something about that end of the pitch, drawing the long-range efforts. And a player down for Heidelberg, Jamal Ali. Didn't look to be any contact, though, but we'll have another look back.
No, some smart little play here, Maeda, picking up a second ball. Nice little flick here from Scott, again, who's been lively since coming on and just fails to hit the target. But you have to say it's probably one of only a couple of opportunities for Moreton Bay to actually strike from distance tonight. They would have liked a few more to test the keeper out and to test Heidelberg, but still probably yet to hit the target.
Looks like it might be a similar issue to what we saw Josh Pinn going through, just stretching out those calves, and a change being made for Moreton Bay. Again, Sakashida Mitsuru coming on. Chris Mark making way. Another one of those players that was scouted by Jeremy Stewart in a park. Himself and Maeda.
Yeah, he will bomb on. He likes to get forward from that right back position. In fact, he's going into that right wing position because I think probably when they played him right back, he leaves a lot of holes. And I don't think Cameron Miller likes that particularly within his back four. But you just wonder with Ali there in terms of, that's the second one now with Pinn, whether or not the flight up's had its effect as well. Something that, you know, obviously NPL teams don't do too much of, the travelling and, you know, in between work and whatnot. Had a tough game last week on the Friday night as well against Oakley in that Doherty Cup, losing out.
It's an abnormal situation for them. At the moment, it looks like he will be staying on. That will last. Physio has left him. May have to take a sprint on here as Marquez Walters in good range, and Piers Clark hanging on, read it well.
Probably releases too early there. He gets the run on. I think he can drive in the box with the ball. We'll see it here. It's a slip here. He can just keep driving with the ball in that box. Try and conjure something up, either get his strike away or potentially a foul in there. Can't touch him, but decides to shoot, and comfortable for Clark in the end.
Hulley back out on the pitch for Heidelberg. Declan Smith, nice and physical for Moreton Bay. The pace lacking a little bit. I mentioned before they've had a tough run to this round of 32. They played Sunshine Coast Wanderers, an NPL side, along their way, and a strike from range. Marquez Walters clatters into Piers Clark. And we'll see yellow and a scuffle in the goal mouth as well. And it's getting very heated here at Walter Park. Not what you like to see at all. Bit of handbags.
It certainly is handbags, isn't it? It's not right. And I'm not too sure, even though the keeper gets collided, I don't know what his problem is. You know, as a centre forward myself, what was got his right to go for that ball? We see that it's a 50-50. We'll see this delivery here when it comes into the box from Scott. It's from deep. But Walters has every right to go for that. And if anyone's going to win that, it's the keeper with everything he's got. Hands, knees, elbows, you name it. Gets up, though, and wants to give it to him. I just not for that. Not for that at all. They get protected too much. It is a foul in the end because he gets there first, no question. But just get on with it.
What position did you play against, Scott?
Yeah, well, you know now. And I don't see anything wrong. It's hugely brave from the attacker.
I don't disagree with you. I don't disagree with you.
But again, I just don't like how goalies react like that, as if they shouldn't be touched. They're in the game. It's a physical game.
Yellow card, I should say, shown to both of them. Probably more so for the aftermath than anything else. We mentioned in the first half that tempers were flaring. Well, came to a head there. Piers Clark and Marquez Walters both seeing a yellow card.
I'm not understanding why Walters gets the yellow card. Is it for the challenge? Because I don't see too much in the end of what he does afterwards. He actually gets grabbed by more or less by the scruff of the neck from one of the Heidelberg defenders and the goalkeeper itself. So,
well, it looked like Lara Lee already had the yellow card out ready to go before the scuffle really kicked off. So I would assume so. It is for that challenge in the air. Not saying it's right, but it is the referee's opinion. When there's a scuffle like that, generally a card tends to go each way.
Yeah, and look, there's no question it was a foul. It was definitely a foul. But just the reaction's just unneeded.
Either way, it's entertainment for your Thursday night. And as Piers Clark gets us back underway. Really tough run for Moreton Bay. I was talking about it earlier. Sunshine Coast Wanderers, NPL side. Olympic FC, another MPL side, Brisbane Strikers, perennial MPL side, but in the FQPL at the moment, and Gold Coast United, who are up there in the title race. It's a very, very tough run to this round of 32 for them. Some really tough sides here in Queensland. Mitsuru does well. Joe Scott has really been sensational off the bench for Moreton Bay. Mitsuru brought down by Zara, and you can see what he thought of the decision. The former Melbourne Heart and Perth Glory man.
Another good decision there from Lara Lee. Definite foul for me. She's had a very, very good game tonight.
Yeah, clear foul. Adrian Zara. Joe Scott standing over it. Delivery's been great. Off the bench. A Toowoomba product and a great delivery once more. Here's Mitsuru. Just getting the wedge out. Marquez Walters. Piers Clark hanging on. Moreton Bay getting some good opportunities now.
Yeah, it's a good ball there to the far stick. Walters finding himself free. Loves to peel off that far stick. He does well with that, but probably the wrong choice in the end, where he goes for goal instead of crossing it back, heading it back across that 6-yard line. I feel where there could have been another white jersey, as we see, Smith, is it Richardson, sorry, in that 6-yard area, just looking for a tap in.
Two Moreton Bay players in a great spot, but wasn't opted by Marquez Walters. Here's Zara winding up from distance, didn't quite catch it cleanly. Could have been an absolute wonder goal though.
Could have been. I think he was just a couple of seconds too slow to actually release it though. He looked up a little bit too late there, seeing Lugo get back to his line. If he had seen him a couple of seconds earlier though, it was on.
You just thought for a moment, could have been one of those spectacular goals. We've seen a few of them so far. Now the strike potentially coming in, and he's blocked. Dominic Falla with the strike. Anderson. The youngsters had an industrious game, not too much end product though. Damon Anderson. And missing Ben Holiday, the youngster down that left-hand side, Scott.
Yeah, absolutely. There's no question about that. That's a huge loss for Cameron Miller and Moreton Bay tonight. He's been one of the star performers, not just for Moreton Bay, but within the league this season. What he gives them, he's a strong runner with the ball. He gets you one-on-one, and he can take you either way, and he's provided a lot for Marquez Walters this season.
There's a nice flick on from Geordie Farina. Walters. Emran Donnelly-Fagan. Out wide, Anderson puts it on to his right. Flicked on that time by the Heidelberg defence, and there will be a corner. Joe Scott to take for Moreton Bay.
It's been a lot better the last 5 minutes for Moreton Bay, hasn't it? The game's just started to open up again. If you're Heidelberg, you're not happy with this. You see the bench getting a little bit edgy, even though they are 3-0 up. Just wanting to keep control of this game.
Scott with the delivery. Headed away by Zara at the near post. Marquez Walters getting a touch, but can't steer it to a teammate. Joe Scott, a little bit of an awkward one there. And he does stay on his feet. Zara. Tsuru did well just to intercept.
And Shepherd did well for Heidelberg there, getting him up the football pitch there. It's underappreciated when your centre forward can carry the ball 20, 30 metres, take the pressure off as well after the last 5 minutes that Moreton Bay have had. He's very good in these situations, in these areas, keeping the ball for his team.
Nice physical forward, Kane Shepherd, the Englishman. Plenty of experience in the English lower leagues as well. And a switch now for Moreton Bay. Farina. Nicolaides, happy to see it down. Just not quite claiming it. Does get away with it though, almost found its way to Kane Shepherd. And Shepherd, who came through the Leighton Orient Academy. Spent time with Newcastle Jets and Western United too. Mitsuru, physical there from the Heidelberg defence. Theodoropoulos had a solid game at the back for them. A dogged defender at the moment, Kane Shepherd. Going to get in good space, found it well from Zara, and big coming together. Zara leaving a foot in there on Declan Smith. He knows it and just apologises too. Matty Richardson almost in trouble. Sean Ellis pressing him. Maeda. Coming out of nowhere, Dominic Falla. Crunching into Joe Scott, the substitute. Speaking of which, Heidelberg look to be making another. Amir Abdallah coming on for them in just a moment. Scott evades one. Good ball from Marquez Walters. Joe Scott, nice play from the substitute, and it is cleared by Leositis. And as well with that one, Jamal Ali pulling up with that cramp once more. Just feeling a little bit ginger. And Emran Donnelly-Fagan having some words with Lara Lee. Here potentially. Mitsuru with the throw-in. Lesiotis able to win it back for Heidelberg, but just given away once more. Anderson, a heavy touch. And a goal kick for Heidelberg. And a substitution being made at the same time by the looks of things. Amir Abdallah coming on and making way. Adrian Zara, their captain, former A-League man. Passing on the captain's armband to Dominic Falla. He's had a good game, Adrian Zara.
Yeah, he has. He's been a brilliant foil for his team, particularly in that press, being everywhere, getting on the ball, making things happen, being a nuisance throughout the game as well, agitating Moreton Bay.
Plenty of work rate from him. Amir Abdallah now on, former Northcote City junior. Spent some time in the Central Coast Mariners Academy as well. Spent the last few seasons playing in Estonia as well. Nicolaitis with the throw-in. Ellis as well, just a hold-up play. Good first touch from Habib. Ellis, the Scotsman. Good attempted turn by Habib, and is foul, but not given, as it was. Lara Lee not giving it, perhaps Habib looking for the contact a little bit. There's Walters. And he is foul. In the middle of the park, and a little bit of a push and shove between himself and Kane Shepherd. And there is the foul, just coming through the back of him a little bit. Dominic Falla able to head it away. And now Heidelberg going the other way. Habib. Kane Shepherd did well to find him. Almost getting to corner flag territory. Maeda strong in the challenge. No foul though. And a little bum tap for good measure.
You have to give it to Moreton Bay and Cameron Miller's side. This is what they epitomise all season. They've done it. Never give up, never say die. They might be 3-0 down, but they're still fighting, chewing at the bit, biting your ankles, trying to get an opportunity.
Never say die, taking a word out of the Matildas book. Why wouldn't you with the form they're in at the moment?
Well, you only need to look at last weekend when they played Brisbane City. They went from 2-0 down to win that game 3-2. So there's a massive belief in this team, albeit it might be a little bit too late now for that, magical comeback. But they've certainly played some decent football just without getting into that final third enough for their own likings.
Nicolaides deals with it well. Habib. Big, strong, fast presence in there. Shepherd. Abdallah. With the switch just a little bit behind his man. Didn't quite get that pinged ball. A little bit too much curl on it. Theodoropoulos. Here's Nicolaides. Heidelberg just happy to hang on to the pill at the moment. Here's Ellis. Fala. Good play from Heidelberg. Shepherd. Fala now wearing the captain's armband. Chance of a handball, but not given. Emran Donnelly-Fagan with a searching ball for Geordie Farina. Waits for the cavalry to arrive. Farina still going. Has Mitsuru in support. Tries to play the cross in, but it is blocked. Just about 5 minutes to play here at Walter Park.
It's well defended again once more, wasn't it, by Theodoropoulos? He's done exceptionally well, particularly going back to that first half challenge against Marquez Walters at 1-0 when he gets through one-on-one, and Marquez Walters thinks he's through on goal just to get that challenge.
Was a good delivery, but headed away off the corner. Fala doing well. Mitsuru able to come away with it, but won back well by the Burgers. Nicolaides. Donnelly-Fagan does well to win it back for his side. Pulling up a little bit ginger afterwards, though. Here's Smith. Good first touch by Donnelly-Fagan. Anderson. Couldn't find Farina. Mitsuru does well to win it back for his side. Geordie Farina towards the near post. Piers Clark does enough. And Ali able to exit for Heidelberg. Here's Ellis. They look to go the other way. It's a beautiful ball in no man's land for Matt Lugo, who does manage to just fall to him. Kane Shepherd was chasing it down, though. Anderson. Lovely flick that time by Joe Scott. This is good play from the youngsters. Damon Anderson headed away by Murakami. They're happy just to send it long at this point, Heidelberg. Just minutes remaining. Bernardi. Here's Scott. He's made such an impact off the bench. Scott once more. Donnelly-Fagan. Farina. Just intercepted.
He's in.
By Theodoropoulos. Shepherd trying to lob. Matt Lugo doesn't quite get enough under it. Does Kane Shepherd. Late in this game, Murakami still pressing on the fullback. And a late change. Again. For Moreton Bay United, one of the substitutes, Emran Donnelly-Fagan, being pulled off. Perhaps a little bit of a niggle there for him.
Yeah, he took a sore one there when he was running down the line. And Nicolaides there with his challenge. Seems to have hurt his ankle. But if you're Heidelberg and Katsakis, though, you're hugely pleased with the performance tonight. Real professional performance in the second half as well. And getting that third goal, probably against a runner play, you have to say. Moreton Bay putting a little bit of pressure on, but just securing the game there.
Liam Byrne on the youngster, academy product for them. He's been part of Queensland Metro underage sides in the past, under 14s. A young product coming through for them.
If you're Moreton Bay, you're kicking yourself at the beginning of the game. Just started a little bit slow. I don't know if the extra time off with no game on the weekend there has probably caused that. Started a little bit nervy and not getting tighter to that Heidelberg team who pressed a little bit better than them, getting on the ball and then allowing someone of Shepherd's quality to have that amount of time to line up his shot, albeit from 25 yards out. It's a wonderful strike with his left foot, and then nothing he can absolutely do with Pin's first-time finish, apart from obviously the build-up needs to be better from Chrissy Maher. He'll know that. His team will know that. And from there, it's been a tough ask from Moreton Bay.
Lesiotis frustrated with the foul there. But it was given by Lara Lee. Thought he'd won it back in a fantastic area to spring a counter-attack. Damon Anderson lunging in was Habib. And it takes a cross. Or I should say it takes a touch out. And will be corner kick. Joe Scott has been magnificent off the bench. 4 minutes to be added on here at Walter Park. And Joe Scott standing over the corner. A potential consolation goal. Flicks on. Marquez Walters hunting it down. Theodoropoulos doing enough for his side. Falla. Heidelberg just trying to keep it away from their end. Lugo. Claimed by Piers Clark. Former Perth Glory man was signed by the A-League club as an injury replacement for Brad Jones. Plenty of change happening at that club at the moment. New coach in Alan Stajcic. Did a great job with the Philippines women's national team at the World Cup, even getting them there and a player down. Looks to be Joe Scott for Moreton Bay United. Just hanging on to his head here as we'll have a look at the contact coming through the back of him.
Yeah, no question of foul. Foul a little bit slow there, Lara Lee, to give that one. But a definite foul in the end. I saw one for Scott right in the face with the ball. We see it again. Nicolaides just getting in there physically.
Matt Lugo on set piece duties. The keeper. One last chance for them, perhaps. We're 4 minutes added on. Lugo just lofting it in. Not enough shape on it, perhaps. And he's a long way from home. Can they score a long-range goal here? Heidelberg on the break. Theodoropoulos. No foul given. And really getting scrappy in these late moments. And a foul given against Theodoropoulos. Joe Scott drawing it once more just into the back of them. Can't be too many complaints. Not if you're Katsakis, the Heidelberg coach. Having a few disagreements.
He can afford to smile. His team's been excellent tonight.
Byrne. Shouts of a handball, not given. His side have been excellent tonight. Liam Byrne. Another foul on Heidelberg.
You have to say, particularly in times like these, they've defended ever so well. Been physical presence, dominance in that back line all night. Kept Marquez Walters pretty quiet, you have to say, in this second half.
Scott towards the back post now, palmed away by Piers Clark.
Walters will be kicking himself with that 1v1 chance he had, though, to get his team a slight glimmer of hope, though, within this football match. The best chance of the game for Moreton Bay, you have to say. One that you'd fully expect him to at least hit the target with.
And the ball in now. Pierce Clark was unable to control it. Was Geordie Farina. Just moments remaining here in Queensland. The Heidelberg bench up on their feet. Can taste the round of 16 coming. Always an exciting moment for any side. And always when it's a tense, physical game, that win feels a little bit sweeter. And they do get it in the Sunshine State. Heidelberg run out 3-0 victors over Moreton Bay United to advance to the round of 16 for the 4th time in their history. One of the most successful NPL clubs in the competition. It may have been a tough season in the league, but a great season in the cup. They advance to the round of 16. It is here at Walter Park. Moreton Bay United 0, Heidelberg 3. Brilliant strikes from some key players in that first half. Scott McDonald, Kane Shepherd.
Yeah, well, it all started really early on for Heidelberg. They started electrically, high press, on the front foot, a couple of balls in the box, and then Richardson and Smith just can't get out to him. They need to get out quicker to him. But it's a wonderful strike from Shepherd, isn't it, from distance? Like I said in the commentary earlier, you give this man time from that distance, he'll line it up, and he's got a wonderful left foot, and it goes all the way in the bottom corner. The second goal, though, come quickly after. Moreton Bay just seemed to be settling in the game as well, but Chrissy Marr overruns the ball, and wow, what can you say about that?
Absolutely brilliant from Josh Pin, a Queenslander himself. And how about this? He was back at it again in the second half.
Yeah, well, he was always a threat, wasn't he? Whether it was, with the ball at his feet, there's a wonderful curling ball at the back stick, and someone you wouldn't really expect to be at the back stick with his head in Sean Ellis, who was productive as well for his side on that right-hand side, coming up with the goods for the 3rd goal. But yeah, professional performance and a wonderful night for Heidelberg. They get themselves in the round of the 16. And, for this Moreton Bay team, though, they've had a wonderful season to this point. It won't stop them from the end of the season in Queensland, but a great experience for some of their younger players tonight as well, against what was a fantastic outfit in Heidelberg.
Well, a dominant performance from the Victorian side. They may not have led in the possession side of things, but a really dominant performance from George Katsakis' side. It is here at Walter Park in the round of 32. Heidelberg advance after beating Moreton Bay by 3 goals. It is Moreton Bay 0, Heidelberg 3.